Welcome once again to Noah's Snark, where two former religious types and current snarks take a look at religious media on its own terms.
I'm Hillary.
And I am Josh, a.k.a. MC Josh Panache. That's my rap name.
I like it.
Thank you. As usual, before we talk about what we're doing today, we have to discuss any hits or misses that you have caught. Anything.
I don't know if it's a hit or miss, but in the Dante's Peak episode...
Inferno.
God damn it. I am leaving that in.
Yep.
I need to sit in my shame. In the Dante's Inferno episode, you mentioned a painting that you liked of what was it, Jupiter eating a baby?
Cronus at the time.
Yeah, I don't know why it didn't click in my head the first time, but
I just named Hieronymus Bosch because I know he made crazy shit too.
Yeah, well, no, and I was on board with that because that would make sense. That would
Yeah, but I kind of knew it wasn't him when I said it, but I was just like, whatever. It's something like that.
I love that neither of us were like, let's look it up. I was just like, whatever.
One of those people who painted crazy shit.
Yeah. Yeah,
also,
Goya's
Hieronymus
a fucking badass. I've seen it, recently, I think I saw a comparison of, when he first started painting, he was, kind of, beautiful, landscapey, kind of romantic era. I don't know what era that actually was, but
and
it looks...
then the madness set in.
Right. I'm just before mental illness, after mental illness.
It's
dark as fuck.
Did he have a mental illness?
I believe so. I want to see what he... Yeah.
Because that's the crappy thing about art and artists is so many of them were mentally ill that at this point it's sort of a stereotype that to be a great artist you have to be.
Well, there's some theory as to the fact that lead was used in a lot of paint.
So maybe he just got lead
during
poisoning.
Time periods. Yeah, I can't say which ones were affected by that specifically.
Yeah. But yeah, there's that notion of, I think you even see it in some artists today who have mental issues and they don't want to really work them out because they think it'll make them.
No, well, I know. I went through that romantic period where just my depression is what gives me, inspiration. I don't want to be all happy like the fucking ignorant masses.
So let's start this episode with the PSA.
Yeah.
If you have a mental illness and it's affecting your life, please treat it.
In fact, as I talked to you about earlier, I will be hopefully treating my issues.
That's right.
With a therapist.
That's right.
Now that I'm getting my insurance back.
Fuck yeah, America's a hellscape.
America's a hellscape. I need a reason to live. Please help me. Anyone.
No, I get that.
Yeah, whatever. We'll figure it out.
This is the Get Into Your Feelings podcast.
Yeah.
We're switching from our normal.
I dig it. Let's get raw.
Let's get raw.
Yeah.
Okay. But unless you want to get raw, let's continue with what we're doing today.
Okay.
What is that?
We are doing a movie called... It's coming to me. Don't look at me. I'm in Love with a Church Girl?
Nailed it.
Yeah!
I just want everyone to know, right away, and I mentioned this last week, but this is important.
Yeah.
Ja Rule is in this movie. He is an actor. He is my favorite actor.
I love him.
And having seen this for sure,
I
was right in choosing him as my favorite actor.
Oh, I would have to disagree with that. But it's also fun to point out he is the romantic lead of this movie.
That's right.
Which is not something I would have ever imagined for him.
This is a rom-dram. It is not a com.
No.
There is almost no com.
No.
But it is a rom-dram. And let's describe it in one sentence.
Okay.
I can start if you need a second.
Always do.
110 minutes of learning how attractive and wonderful and stunning Ja Rule is. 10 minutes of plot and development.
100%. Let's see. I don't think I have anything for this one.
All right.
It was just so blah.
It's very blah.
Yeah. And long.
I know. It's really long for how blah it is.
It's a long 100 minutes.
It's 2 hours.
Is it 2 hours?
Or it was very close to it, yeah. It's over 110 minutes.
Okay, it felt like that, so, okay, cool.
But let's start on it then. RGM presents us with this film. They are letters carved out of rock in the middle of a lake with waves and shit.
Their production.
And it's based on a true story. And let me give you some of Ja Rule's opening monologue, voiceover. Mm-hmm. Now, I know what people mean when they say... Sorry.
Wait. Before you get there, did you watch the opening credits?
Not closely.
Do you know who the executive producer of this is?
No.
God.
Oh, fuck. Nope, didn't catch that. That upsets me in a lot of ways.
I laughed and laughed.
See, I didn't pay that close attention. I clearly missed the joke.
That's what I'm here for. It's probably about the last time my eyes were on the screen.
Yeah. Okay. I got the inflection wrong in my first go, so let me try this again.
Okay.
Now I know what people mean when they say, I wish I knew then what I know now. Ain't that the truth? Probably saved me a whole lot of pain and suffering, that's for sure. And I guess in the whole scheme of things, it's part of God's plan. And all we can do is just run with it. Because when it comes right down to it, God's running the show anyway. And there's nothing we can do to stop that. And as we're going through this monologue, Ja Rule's going on about how God is super in charge, and he tried to avoid him for a really long time. But it's all intended to show us Ja Rule's time in lockup. It appears that he's in jail, he's getting a letter, and, you know, we don't see him there, but it's just like...
It's implied that...
It's clearly implied that he's in prison now. And now, we jump back to a flashback. Before the opening scene, this whole movie is going to...
Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah, and so the whole movie is going to take place before that opening scene in jail. And he used to sling dope, you know, he's giving his little goons a speech about how much money he's making and how careful and smart and Batman he is.
Yep.
He's just like, look, I'm real smart, I'm real attractive, I'm real clever, and I plan everything, I think about shit a lot, except obviously he doesn't say shit. And so this is going to be a theme. So I just want to go ahead and reiterate this point.
Yeah.
We're going to hear a lot about he is the smartest, most attractive, most kind, compassionate, and just the best general dude. Even if he is a drug dealer. Mm-hmm. And apparently...
The drug dealing was just a means to an end, and he's actually a businessman, and he's actually smarter than that. He just had to get out of the hood.
He's out of the game now.
Right.
And so he goes to visit his mom, and he makes a bunch of deposits into a big old safe he has. And his mom covertly asks him for a vacation to Sandals Resorts.
They used the name, too. I wonder if Sandals got any residuals, or if they paid to be a part of this nonsense.
Oh, it could be. But she also tells him to get to church and find him a nice woman so that he can give her a grandbaby already. But Ja Rule, you know, he never really liked church. And even when he did go with her, he only went for the brunch.
Ditto. We always got a donut after church.
That's why you would go. I'd go to church.
Well, I mean, I went because I didn't have any kind of, you know, autonomy.
Yeah, you were a child.
I was a child, but it did make it worth it.
Like Krispy one donut or like 2 donuts?
Well, it was like 4? I was like 2 feet tall.
7 donuts?
1 donut.
Okay.
I got to pick one. I always got either the vanilla or the chocolate cream filled. My brother always got pink, the strawberry glaze or whatever.
Brother's got the good choices.
I mean, it's delicious. I like that too.
I don't like donuts with things in them.
I don't like Boston cream. I don't like, I like the Boston cream. I don't like jam.
Yeah.
But the chocolate and vanilla cream is basically kind of like icing.
Yeah.
So it's just icing inside instead of on top.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go.
I want a donut.
You so?
I want one.
Let's get one.
Okay.
You know the best donut shop is
Krispy Kreme.
No.
I love Krispy Kreme.
Tip Top.
I don't know what that is.
Are
they more cakey or doughy?
I think it's yeast, because I prefer yeast.
I prefer yeast. That's the correct.
Cake donuts are wrong!
100%. Oh my god.
Alright, and this next scene, I just want to open with, the mighty have fucking fallen, friends. Mm-hmm. Because we get the always expected Stephen Baldwin.
Yes.
He's playing a cop, and...
Fucking Michael Madsen.
What the hell is Michael Madsen doing in this movie?
Is he doing here?
And
but it's also important to remember he was also in Free Willy.
Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff, but like this is Mr. Blonde, okay?
Yeah.
Mr. Blonde.
Thank you.
He's been in a lot of other stuff. I think he was in
Kill Bill.
Yeah, he was Kill Bill guy.
He's about to be in, I looked it up because I'm like, he does a lot of Tarantino. And he's going to be in the new one that's coming out. Have you seen the trailer for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
That's the one, yeah.
That trailer is sick.
Yeah, I think I saw it, but I wasn't paying close attention. I was busy.
Man. I'm so excited about it.
I've heard only good things.
Me too. I think it's going to be pretty huge.
So I'm going to check it.
Yeah.
But anyway, what the fuck is Michael Madsen doing in this movie, and how did they get him? He sang into he cut off a dude's ear and then sang into it, and now he's in this shitty Christian movie.
Jesus movie. Yeah, it's not like his star hasn't fallen. It's not like
I guess they just paid him, here's
I guess.
$20,000.
Maybe he's like Christopher Walken. He just like never turns down a role.
Now, I'm going to loop back to this because
Okay.
I have already decided what my favorite part of this movie is.
He's still really attractive. I feel like he should be older than he is.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I just want everyone to acknowledge that Michael Madsen is in this movie.
Yes.
Because it's going to come up later.
Okay.
But let's move on. He's a cop, and he's working alongside Stevie B, and they're trying to bring an end to Ja Rule's entire operation. But they're coming up against the budget of their department, so they may not be able to continue their very important work.
Oh,
This
man.
never comes up again.
Nope, you're right.
It's just how we introduce Stephen Baldwin, Michael Madsen, and their boss.
Yeah.
That's it.
I feel like the boss was probably in other things too.
He looked familiar.
Yeah.
Oh, shit!
What?
The guy who played God in An Interview with God
Uh-huh.
was in Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Oh, was he?
He was a general.
I love that
And he
actor.
tried to kill Godzilla.
Can't remember his name right now, but I like him a lot.
Yeah. He's not a bad actor. We
he's a
said
great
this
actor.
when we
He's-
were watching that terrible film.
He was good in that, and
Yeah.
it was a terrible film.
But I saw him, I was like, oh shit, it's God!
He'll always be the dude from A League of Their Own for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just wanted to talk about him for some reason. And in the next scene, we learn Ja Rule may be the sexiest, cleverest, wittiest man this side of the mortal coil, but he's also a very intense creep.
Yep.
Because he notices a pretty girl while he's driving around, and he literally turns his car around with haste
Yeah.
so he can give chase.
Yeah.
And he doesn't catch up to her, which is probably good for everybody.
It's good for everybody. Also, how fast was she going? Because he was like,
He was booking it. Now, he did have to turn around completely first.
True.
Although he did do it unsafely, so
Right.
it was presumably pretty
It
quick.
seemed like you should have been able to I don't know, whatever.
But he gets pulled over. A cop sees him because he's speeding and he's acting like a damn fool.
And then he's a black guy in a very fancy car.
And I had this moment where I was like, was this just to demonstrate that he's a creep?
That didn't rub me the right way, so I'm glad it also did you the same.
And so I was like, all right, great use of time in your movie, guys, whatever.
Yeah.
And now Steven with a PH gives his unit a little rundown on their target, which is Ja Rule's crew and Ja Rule himself. And he, and I am not exaggerating, is sure to mention he's smart, he's rich, and he's good looking.
Yeah. The cop saying
Yes.
that? Yeah.
He doesn't say it about
He's
the other
like, he
dudes.
may be good, he's smart, he's good looking. And then what does he say?
He's rich.
But I wouldn't want him dating my daughter or something like that.
Oh, yeah. So he does, yeah.
Yeah. I
It's
wouldn't,
like-
want my daughter bringing him home or something like that. I'm like, what the fuck? Who wrote this? Did Ja Rule write this?
Yes, almost certainly. He did. He had a hand. Part of his contract was he gets to edit any dialogue about his character.
Oh, yes. Okay. Maybe that's just what his, what his contracts are from now on.
Yeah.
Kind of like
That's
how
why he doesn't get any more roles.
Vin Diesel can't, Vin
Lose a
Diesel.
fight.
Right.
But Ja Rule is now invited to a party. And the guy who invited him greets him at the party with, "Yo, Ja Rule." That's not his name in this movie, but I'm going to call him Ja Rule the whole time. "Yo, Ja Rule, my youngest and coolest friend in the world. You're needed." It is a theme.
It is a theme.
If we mention this man, we have to talk about how great he is.
There's the handsome guy I know. This guy, by the way, is from The Sopranos.
Yes, he's
And
very
he looks
clearly
like he's from The Sopranos.
I've not seen The Sopranos. You said that, and I was like, obviously.
Yes, yeah. I haven't watched a lot of it. I'll watch it all eventually, but
Yes.
yeah.
If
I
I've
looked it up, I'm
seen-
like, this guy was in The Sopranos.
If I've seen a Soprano, it's this guy. It's super, super clear.
Oh, I've seen a couple Sopranos. I've seen a Soprano.
But now we get more exposition about how career and money can cost you your family and the rest of your life. And because this guy, he sees Ja Rule. Ja Rule has a lot of money, and he's
Right.
like, I was really worried about my career once, and then my wife, she was like, "You don't spend enough time with me." I was like, who fucking talks like this? Nobody. Who said this super shitty dialogue out loud and was like, nailed it?
Oh god, the dialogue is so terrible. So terrible.
But anyway, we're at the party, and Ja Rule sees another, possibly the same, beautiful woman. And this is our other lead character, Adrienne Bailon, who will henceforth be known as Cheetah Girl.
Cheetah Girl.
I'm glad we agree. You saw it coming.
100%.
All right, so Cheetah Girl is introduced to her, and it is reiterated how cool he is, because even Cheetah Girl tells him that Miles, which is his name in this movie, is a very cool name.
Yeah.
She's like,
about
oh,
him is
Miles,
cool.
that's a cool name. No, it's fucking not. And no one talks like this when they meet strangers anyway. Have you ever met a stranger and said, oh, that's a cool name?
No.
Like, it's just as fuck off.
No.
It's just
I mean, I also don't have an interesting name, so.
And I have a nephew named Miles, okay? It is not a cool name. If you ever hear this, anybody in the whole family, sorry. It's not a cool name.
Yeah.
It's a name.
I mean, dudes tell girls that their names are beautiful all the time, but it's not genuine.
Okay, maybe she's hitting on him then.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Obviously, she's hitting on him.
No.
She lets him rub her hand disgustingly.
We're not entirely, he does. He's super creepy.
Yeah.
I am not entirely sure that she's just hitting on him, because this is not the first time it's going to happen.
Right.
But they have a little chit-chat, and they talk about church and all that, because it's the only interesting thing about her, I guess. Mm-hmm. And she catches on quickly that he's not a true Christian like her.
Yeah.
You know, he says, like, I'm looking for a new church right now, but it's not true, obviously. He doesn't go.
Obviously not, no. He's between churches.
Right. And they spend the evening together bonding over conversation, which we don't get to hear, because the only thing this movie has to talk about is Jesus. And he's eventually manages to get her to agree to hang out with him again. And we can tell that he's the youngest, coolest, and richest man here, because he just straight up asks her directly. Which, of the many qualities he has, is at least a respectable one.
Yes, I agree with that.
He's not, like, trying to trick her into hanging out with him. He's just like, hey, I had a good time. I want to see you again. Can I have your number? And she's like, yes.
Yes.
It's like, fuck.
The way it should be.
Boy, I like adults.
Yes.
I sure do
Not
like
all
them.
adults are like that.
But he wakes up to a video message from Cheetah Girl, because they had a bet about who would call the other first. And she asks him to come to church with her, but he says that he's too busy for that today. It's a video message. He calls her back. It's a whole thing. And they do make plans to meet later that day. And so we cut straight to that, and she heads to his very impressive house that we get to look at, while the cops, Stevie B and his partner, who is not Michael Madsen, it's some other dude.
Yep.
Get to, just basically be like, we're here watching just to see if he messes up or whatever. Oh, and I think,
and then he has somehow, they wedge it in there that it has 8 rooms. Why did I need to know that?
So she goes inside the house.
Yeah.
And she's immediately talking about how large and impressive and beautiful his house is.
Yeah. And you're here all by yourself.
You're here just all by yourself? How many rooms are there? He's like, okay.
Last time I checked.
His sense of humor is the worst. Because all he does is say obvious shit. And then says, like, last time I checked. Because he does. He says 8 rooms last time I checked.
Not a joke.
Like, at some point, someone, like, how much money do you have? I don't know, $100 million. I think. It's like, fuck off.
What a weird thing to be nonchalant about.
I think someone asked him his name at one point. He says his name, last time I checked. It's like...
I did not notice that, but I believe you.
It happens at least 2 more times.
I remember it with the 8 rooms thing.
Yeah. But it's the weirdest...
It's a humble brag.
It's the weirdest way to do it.
It's not really a humble brag. Whatever.
He's not really being humble. No. You don't buy a house like this.
Well, no, he's acting like, I mean, I don't really care how many rooms there are. I think there's 8.
Right. It's like, you're an asshole.
I didn't buy this for the rooms. I bought it to impress ladies.
Right. And when she shows up, Stevie B gets to talk about how beautiful she is. And he's like, he has all the money. He gets all the girls. He's real mad.
Yeah.
Oh, when they were talking to their boss, both Stephen Baldwin and Michael Madsen had at least 1 or 2 lines each about how much money he has. Because he's like, his house is worth more than all of our houses combined. And he wears our yearly paycheck on his wrist. And his one of his 12 cars is worth more than all of our cars combined. Like, literally every piece of dialogue about this man is about how impressive as a man he is.
Wait. This is based on a true story, right?
Yes.
Was the author... was it the guy who, like, did the guy write a book or something? Like, the guy who is truly, because if this was written by that guy, it makes all the sense in the world.
I don't know, but...
Where every character is obsessed with him.
I read, 3 sentences about it.
Yeah.
And if I'm remembering correctly, this is a very fictionalized version of that guy's true story. He was a drug dealer who I'm pretty sure just went to prison and then came out and became, a pastor or something. He is not... to the best of my knowledge,
a baller.
A super baller who has all the money, all the girls, all the cars, the best smile, the coolest name.
Yeah, dude. It's written by Gally Molina and based on his own experience. Okay. So he wrote this story to just create
a probably fictionalized version of himself.
Oh, I bet he's fun at parties.
Guarantee.
Oh my god.
He's probably your youngest, richest friend.
And so handsome. Did you mention handsome?
Okay, so let's go. This is much more fun to talk about than just to watch, I can tell you that.
It really is.
Okay, so...
So his name's Gally. That's an interesting name.
Yeah. It's a cool name.
Not as cool as Miles.
But when Cheetah Girl and Ja Rule head off to dinner, he gets a phone call from his business partner, and he takes it, and that's when we learn that the phone is bugged. Is this really that relevant? No, but we know this because the cops are trying to come after him.
Right.
And apparently some guy named T is going to be Ja Rule's downfall because he's having a conversation with T and they're showing us, so I assume it's related. Or they're just wasting our time. And I wrote this as a note. Mm-hmm. This movie is both competent and incompetent enough at the same time so far that it could be either. Uh-huh. I don't know if it's just foreshadowing or it's just scene! The more scenes we have, the better it is.
More scenes, please.
But for her part, we learn that Cheetah Girl is super cool. She's the lady version of the best. She can't be him best because she's a lady.
She's lady best.
But she's lady best.
Best lady.
Because she doesn't even ask him to stop taking business calls while he's out with her.
Yeah.
But he's so good in understanding.
She's one of those cool chicks.
She's a cool chick.
Doesn't stand up for herself or demand people be better.
But he's so good in understanding that he's going to turn his phone off anyway. And this is one of those situations where it's kind of both. Mm. I get it. If people are busy, take a phone call. But I also,
people who are making that kind of money and you're enjoying that money with them, you gotta let them do their business
there's also a sort of a line because I have dated people who were constantly getting phone calls and be like, can we do literally an hour without your phone going off?
Yeah.
Because eventually it gets...
But were those make or break deal phone calls? No. That's the difference.
Yeah, and that's
it's your friend, your friend calls you while you're on dinner date. Mm-hmm. You don't answer that phone. You call that friend back later.
Right. And maybe you can send a text if you really need to be like, hey, I'm busy.
Right.
But then you put your phone away.
Right.
But
one of
they're
those
both
auto-response things.
Yeah, but they're both supposed to be super cool. So she's fine with him getting the calls, and he's fine with not taking them because they're both the best together.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
The chemistry.
The fucking chemistry.
Doesn't exist.
So now he takes her back to his place where she had dropped her car off, and he's trying to... It turns out that Cheetah Girl is the same woman that he chased down the street. Mm-hmm. And he tells her the story of how he tried to hunt her down like prey.
Correct. And she thinks it's romantic as fuck.
Despite how actually horrific the story is, she is wooed by it. And this must be because Ja Rule is the most charming on top of all of his other qualities.
Right.
But honestly, if someone tells you this story, you're like, oh, I'm going to get in my car and I'm going to throw it into a dumpster. And I hope you never find me again.
See, all it would need is a little tweaking, or is I saw this girl, she was beautiful, she just stayed on my mind, mm-hmm. I thought about her, and then I saw you, I'm like, I can't believe I found the girl,
mm-hmm.
That's sweet.
Yeah,
that's
you don't have to actually chase her.
I just kept thinking about her, you don't fucking hunt them down.
That's so weird. And you don't tell them the story of trying to hunt them down, and then she's like, how great and romantic that was.
Yeah, and paint it as a romantic gesture.
What is the plan when you catch her?
Right.
I'm genuinely asking.
Got her.
Got her.
Throw her in the trunk.
You follow her to where she's headed and you just grab her shoulders. What? Hey.
Hey, girl. Hey.
I just want you to know, I've been chasing you for 10 miles and I just wanted you to know I think you're real cute. She's gonna be like,
oh, okay.
This is my friend's house.
Right. He's really big and he has a dog.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm assuming she went home. This is my friend's house. This is not where I live, I swear.
Yeah. My dad has guns. Runs away.
Lots of guns everywhere. I have guns in my car. I just don't get it. But that's fine.
No, you're right.
And all of his great qualities are further reinforced when he comes to visit her at work and all of Cheetah Girl's friends talk about how fine he is.
Which is not he's not an ugly guy.
No, he's not.
But my reaction to seeing Ja Rule is not damn!
Damn! God!
He's not Idris Elba walking in.
Well, that's an attractive man.
Universally accepted.
Yes. So he gets invited now to Cheetah Girl's house to meet her family, and when he gets in, even her younger sisters want to bang him.
Yeah,
because
her
honestly,
little sister is a horn dog. She just jumps up and lets this guy in her house. Like, oh, hey, you're hot. Come on in.
Yeah, get right in.
Oh, of course you're waiting for Vanessa.
That's a double entendre.
What's her name, Vanessa?
Her name is Vanessa, yeah. I was saying to get on in.
Pick up Vanessa. She's like, ugh.
Of course you are.
Of course you are.
And it's like, you're attractive too. Let's just go find a man.
Dude, you can find someone better looking than Ja Rule and younger. He's pushing 40 in this.
Yeah, I looked it up. I think he was like 35.
He was 39 he was 37 or 38.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
And I was like, how old is Cheetah Girl? She looks like she's in her early 20s. No, but she's older than she looks. She's 1 year older than me. So she was 30. Wow. Yeah, she was 30 and he was 37.
Which is like fair.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's good. But
it
you're right.
Looked like more of a disparity.
Her little sister could find an equally attractive man who was more suited for her age.
Maybe another teenager.
But the thing is, this isn't just her little sisters, both of them, although the second one is less creepy about it.
Yeah.
Even her dad comes in. He's like, oh, Miles Montego. That's a cool, like, super spy man name. I was like, fucker, what? Like, no, it's just a name. Like, it's above average, I guess.
I mean, it's alliterative.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. That's nice.
It's not like a palindrome, so it's clearly not that good.
Oh, man, the coolest.
It's just... Alright, so even her dad is impressed. And Mom, to be fair, is the only one who's unimpressed. And so she immediately grills him and asks him what church he goes to.
She's mad at him right away.
She's pissed.
Yeah.
Like, what church do you go to? What do you do for money?
She's not falling for his good looks and charm.
She's the only one. She's immune to it.
Yeah.
But of course, she gets cut off before getting proper answers. So it's time to see Ja Rule and Cheetah Town go out on the town with his drug crew. And as might be...
You called her Cheetah Town.
I did. And as might be expected, the crew start to tell stories about the real Ja Rule, the previous one, guns blazing and all of that.
Yeah.
Literal quote. And so he's very obviously and suspiciously herds them off and away from Cheetah Girl so they can't ruin this.
Right. What did he expect?
I had that thought. I was like, they're definitely going to start talking about...
Well, that's all they talk about.
They are a drug-slinging crew, and even if he's not in it...
Yeah. And that's what their relationship is. Yeah. That's why they're friends.
So, they're going to talk about it.
Right, the good old days.
But
we just shot random people, willy-nilly.
And then the great part is now Cheetah Girl is left with all of their girlfriends or wives or whatever.
Yeah.
And so she is asked by them if everything they say about Ja Rule is true.
So now you know. Handsome, rich, smart, big old dick.
A big old dick, and he's good with it.
Yep.
But she is a good Christian girl, I'll have you know, so she wouldn't know, and she doesn't intend to for quite a while.
Mm-hmm. They're taking things slow.
And they're like...
Yeah, these bitches.
This is a different man than the man I know. And, it's awkward all the way over for everybody, basically. And Ja Rule tells his friends, stop trying to, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm trying to... I'm first off, I don't do this anymore.
She's not impressed.
She's not impressed by this. I need you to cut it out. But on the way home, he explains how, he's got a past, and he's not particularly proud of it, and he's afraid that she wouldn't like him anymore if she did know. But he doesn't go into great detail, and he distracts her with diner pie, a very classic move from charming men the world over. Everyone knows. Don't want to have a conversation? Say, the place with the best pie.
Yeah.
And I can buy you that pie, because I've got money, honey.
What's your favorite pie?
My favorite pie is pumpkin.
Oh, that's a great choice.
I know.
Key lime for me.
Key lime's good, too. Yeah. I like this sort of... I like citrus, the sour.
Yeah, tart. I love tart.
That's the word I was looking for. Yeah. That's why I had so much trouble getting there, because I knew sour wasn't the word I was looking for.
The mouth pursing for me, so that I could figure out what you meant.
And then eventually I was just like, I guess it's sour. It's not sour, though.
It's sour, Tish. It's
tart.
Tart. Yeah, I like tart.
But back home, we see Cheetah Girl's mom having bad vibes. She can't sleep because she knows that Ja Rule is not what he's pretending to be, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And this is what led me to through this movie to be like, oh yeah, he's definitely still slinging dope. He pretends he's not, but that's just, it's an illusion.
It's an illusion.
Because he's still rich as fuck.
Well, now he's using his money for these parties. He's throwing these events.
But at the diner, with pie and coffee, Ja Rule confesses to Cheetah Girl about previously being a drug dealer. And that's how he made all of his money, and that's how he met his friends. But he's past all that now, and he's better for it. But Cheetah Girl warns him that bad company corrupts good character. That's Bible. So it's probably not so wise to continue hanging out with his dealer pals. And he tries to correct them, along their negative path. He says, I tried to tell them, we don't have to do this for the rest of our lives. I got out of it, and they can too.
But you didn't get out of it. Is that rule you're full of lies?
Right.
Who the fuck is T? What are you selling him?
Right. But they haven't listened to him so far.
Right.
So they're still in the game, and he's pretending he's not. And so Cheetah Girl says, she really respects his honesty, and while she doesn't approve of his past, she doesn't want to pull back from him just yet. She doesn't feel the need to judge him on his past. We have all got a past, she says. And in fact, they've fallen in love.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Is it all right with you if I say that I've fallen in love with you?
You do a good Ja Rule.
Thank you. Little Smoochy Smooch confirms it, and now it's time for her big issue, too. Because do you know what equally yoked means?
Ugh.
If they're going to continue being a thing, they have to feel the same way about each other and God. And that means putting Jesus in the center of their relationship. And of course, Ja Rule says he's not convinced yet, but he's willing to try for her sake. Mm-hmm. And so these two are headed off to his big show now to show off what he does do for business, does do in big old quotes.
Right.
But as Miles Montego presents Old School Funk Fest, we watch a montage of him and his crew counting money in the back room. And it was like, he may be the cutest, most charming, richest, youngest, but he's also a dirty, rotten liar because he's still dealing, definitely.
Yes.
This is
I don't think that money is coming out of the bar back cash drawers.
Right. This is way too much money to be like, I threw a successful party.
Right.
But that right bastard.
He got the whole party high, is what he did.
Absolutely. But Cheetah Girl doesn't know this yet, so she's just as entirely impressed as everyone else is in this movie. But she's still a good Christian girl, so when they're headed off to sleep at that night at their little hotel room, she makes them sleep on the couch.
Dick.
I know, right? You take the couch. You're younger than me.
Right. Take the couch, but also, maybe talk about it ahead of time. You're getting a hotel room, get 2 beds.
Yeah, that's not that hard.
Right. You're rich as fuck, get 2 rooms.
Yeah, and she's like, I got this king-size bed. He's rich enough he can get 2 king-size beds.
Yeah. He could call down and be like, I need another room, please.
Mm-hmm. I just need a whole
take
mattress.
The one next door to this one. Thank you.
But, the next day, they're headed off shopping, and they come across a woman who is certainly Ja Rule's ex. And Cheetah Girl gets real jealous real fast.
And dumb jealous.
Dumb jealous. She immediately sees this woman, and she's just pissed.
Yeah.
And she gets mad at him, too, for having an ex, I guess.
That's so stupid.
And
this was written by a man.
Yeah, and then she's like, did you sleep with her? And he's like, yeah.
This is where it should have cut from that point of view to her point of view, which is him being like, oh, hey, baby, and putting his arm around the other girl and maybe touching her butt.
That would have been a reason.
Right, but...
Instead, the message of this scene, at least, is bitches just be crazy.
They're just fucking women, am I right?
Whoa, boy, they're just getting mad all the time. Because I had that question, does this happen? Has this ever happened to anyone?
Yeah.
Where you just see their ex and they're not weird? You're just like, hi, ex.
Yeah.
And your girlfriend or whatever is just like, fuck you and fuck them.
I ran into an ex on a date once. It was not a thing.
Yeah. It's like, okay.
It was like, hey,
man.
Whatever.
But the especially crazy part, and at least he says it out loud, is she's like, did you sleep with her? And he goes, yeah. Mm-hmm. And she's like, ugh, shouldn't have even asked. And he's like, so why did you ask?
Yes.
It's like, why would you want to know this if you didn't want to know this? It's stupid, but I maybe respect women more than this writer, but I don't think this is a real thing that happens. At least not often.
I mean, if so, it's because people love drama. It's like the people who get off on being mad at each other.
Yeah, for me, this is huge red flag.
Right. Oh, 100%.
You just threw that shit. You put that red flag down my throat. Yes. I'm dying.
Also, the scene serves literally no purpose. It does not keep the movie going. It does not allude to anything.
It doesn't make her character more interesting. It just makes
her less and him better again.
I guess.
It just paints him as just being the chill one, just laid back, man, bitches be crazy. Am I right? Next scene.
Right. But the next scene is when they get to the parking lot for their next destination. Some violence has broken out between Ja Rule's crew and some other guys. So, of course, Ja Rule gets involved. He pulls a gun out of his glove box and he, quote unquote, defuses the situation by pistol whipping some guys and pointing guns at all of them.
Yes.
This, understandably, I'd say, upsets Cheetah Girl, but Ja Rule's still pretending that he's out of the drug game and this is just a thing that happens sometimes at his shows. I don't know why.
There's lots of money.
There's lots of money going around.
Right.
And he does. He's yelling at her. He's like, this is some, he throws the case. She knows he's carrying briefcases of cash. And he's like, this is a lot of money, and so stuff just happens sometimes, and I gotta make sure I handle it and make sure nobody gets hurt.
The nondescript silver case that every mobster in every movie has.
Right.
Where do you buy those? I've never seen them at a store.
I think you have to get them at Mobs Anonymous.
Okay.
USA. It's a warehouse.
Is it a chain?
Yeah.
Okay.
They have them in every major city.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
but it's
for
like
mobsters.
Underground.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
You have to like know a guy.
It's
who
like
knows a
under
guy.
a Circuit City.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's why Circuit City went out of business. 'Cause everyone was really only going to Circuit City.
Right.
For the mobster store.
It
underneath.
was an unsuccessful front.
Oh, and also some great Team America shit happens because, he's talking about how this is just a thing that happens and she's just upset that, I could lose you. And so she makes him promise
also,
that...
you could murder someone.
Right. No, she's worried about him.
Yes, of course.
And she makes him promise that she'll never lose him. So in Team America fashion, he goes, yes. I promise I'm never gonna be lost. I'm not going anywhere. And we know from the opening scene that he's probably in prison. So, ooh, dramatic irony.
Yes.
And so now it's Ja Rule's birthday. And he's celebrating with Cheetah Girl's family, and he's gifted his very own Bible, and her mom continues to interrogate him about whether or not he is the godly man that they have been seeking for their daughter since she was a little baby.
Weird. She should be seeking this person.
But he doesn't know the answer just yet, which I guess is good for being honest.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, maybe.
I'm working on it.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
And Stevie B is now reviewing footage of Mr. Rule, and he's trying to find the end so that he can get this guy in prison already. And the next scene is Ja Rule trying to read his Bible and deciding that it's just not for him. Like, he literally puts his hands up, he's like, man.
Same.
Yeah,
Same,
I get it.
Ja Rule.
I don't even disagree. He then tells Cheetah Girl that he can't make it to church tomorrow, and now they have a fight about it. And he says, God doesn't want someone like me in his church. And he's like, someone who... But she cuts him off, and she explains, oh, you're so goofy. You're so silly. God loves everybody.
Yeah.
She doesn't say that.
I also love that he's pretending like the reason he doesn't want to go is because he doesn't feel worthy, when he really he's just bored of it. He's like, no, church
He
is
also
boring.
Doesn't like it.
We've already established he only likes brunch.
Right. But he was so close to confessing about his campaign of lies.
Right. And
she was just so sure that God loves everybody that she basically talked him out of confessing.
You're right.
And I was like, oh, girl, what are you doing? Like, he said, God doesn't want...
his emotions.
Yeah, he was like, God doesn't want someone like me in his church. Someone who... And she cuts him off right before he says the truth. And I was like, fuck!
Yep, you're right.
This could have been interesting. But they end up going to church because she talked him into it, and I'm suspicious right away. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm validated here. Because first off, this place is too big and too nice. Fuck out of here. It's
Those
real.
are like the only kind of churches I've ever been in.
Yeah, well.
What?
And the pastor is driving a Lamborghini. I was like, if your pastor's driving a Lamborghini...
Oh, I forgot about that.
Don't go to this church.
Yeah, no.
Like, and I'm probably underselling what a church should be, but for me, if your air conditioning is working, this is not a real church.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
I'm used to the mega churches,
right.
The ones that are funded by terrible, terrible deeds.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. And this one doesn't even look like a mega church, though. It's significantly smaller than the one.
It is a small building.
Yeah,
but
the
it's
Six
real,
Flags Over Jesus over there in Roswell or Woodstock.
But
whatever.
it's really nice.
Yeah.
And it was a little too nice. I was like,
yeah.
Like, I need some grime in this place if it's going to be real for me. Like, if I'm going to believe that you believe this,
right,
I need it to be way less clean.
The only church I ever liked going into because it was beautiful was a Catholic church, because they are done, like, it fucking looks like you're, like, going back into the Middle Ages.
Right.
I love stained glass.
Right. And Catholics get
it's all dreary and dark and morbid, and you got, like, hanging dead Jesus all over the place.
Yeah.
I like the way the Catholics do it.
Yeah, it's creepy, but it's definitely cool.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Right. I dress up for that church because there's atmosphere. Yeah,
there's just some mental block for me where if your church is too nice, I'm like, don't trust you.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
And again, when your pastor's driving a Lamborghini, I think I'm justified. Don't trust him.
No.
No Lambos.
No.
It's not allowed. But, because
No, you're right.
And I realized that it's inevitable that one of our movies was going to cover, like, a mega church instead of our usual, small, dilapidated, but sincere churches.
Right.
But I just didn't see it coming, I guess.
Right.
And Ja Rule is rich AF. So when the offering plate comes around here, he puts in a few hundred.
He has a wad of cash.
Just hundreds of dollars.
Bigger than his head.
Literally.
Right.
And Cheetah Girl sees him doing it, and she's like, what are you doing? He's like, don't nobody need to see that. And so he puts it underneath, and he drops, it's probably $500-$600.
Probably, yeah.
And she's like, I'm going to have to explain to you the concept of the offering. Although, if she did,
right,
she would probably tell him that it's 10%.
Of your
so
income.
He should probably drop that entire wad.
Correct.
Because he's got a crap ton of money.
Right.
Whatever. Doesn't matter. They don't ever talk about it again. And I don't want to. The rich-ass pastor impresses Ja Rule because he doesn't really come off as one to him. You know, he's dressed real nice. He's wearing all white and a nice hat.
Yeah.
With the brim
The flat brim.
Yeah, the flat brim.
Still has that shiny thing underneath it.
Mm-hmm. But, of course, you know, he also points out that he's driving a Lamborghini. And the pastor says, you know, I've read the Bible, and I don't see anywhere where style is a sin. It's like, that is technically true.
Coveting.
Right.
Yeah.
Coveting guns. Like, you shouldn't.
Right. Materialism in general.
Honestly, if you have the money for a Lamborghini, you're probably a shitty pastor.
True. You're supposed to be living a humble life.
Right. I'm not the guy who's like, you have to be driving a 1998 Honda.
Yeah.
But you should not.
I had a 1998 Honda.
But you should not have a Lamborghini if you're a pastor.
No.
Like, I think that's pretty reasonable. Because, again, I can't buy that you buy this if you're driving a Lamborghini.
Right.
I can have a Lamborghini because I'm not a pastor.
You are not trying to live like Christ by any stretch.
Or trying to even be an example of.
Correct.
Okay, so we're on the same page. And Stephen B. Baldwin is watching Ja Rule's crew. I don't know if his middle name starts with B. And something has happened. Mm-hmm. And he now says, gotcha. So he's feeling good now. And Cheetah Girl asks Ja Rule if he's considered stepping up during the altar call yet. But he says he just doesn't want to rush into things, you know?
Yeah.
He doesn't want to insincerely.
Why not make why make a fake commitment?
Right. And that's reasonable.
Yeah.
And she says, you know, just that. And he asks a bunch of questions about why God lets bad things happen if he's so great.
Always the argument of the non-believers.
Right. And, of course, no one offers even the beginning of an answer. And instead, he talks about how he was watching some TV about Islam and how Jesus is just a prophet in that religion and not a god. And he doesn't know how he feels about all that. Mm-hmm. And we just sort of move on because now it's Christmas. And Ja Rule finally gets his mom that vacation to Sandals Resorts.
It all came back.
At least that wasn't wasted in this movie because most of the other scenes were. And now we get a scene where he's studying his Bible and he gets phone calls from 3 different women back to back to back.
Yeah. I at first thought that those were like the girlfriends of his friends, like, and they were trying to get a hold of him because something went down. Mm-hmm. That's what I thought it was. But no. He was wanted.
Yeah. He's struggling because he hasn't gotten laid in months.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, like, he was having a nice girl-filled life, but now he's got a girlfriend who won't put out, and so he's just like, Because now he goes to Cheetah Girl, and he starts reading her the dirty parts of the Bible.
Yeah.
What is it? The Song of Solomon?
Super gross.
Yeah, but the Song of Solomon, as we know, anyone who's familiar with it, is basically just dirty letters. Some Mozart shit. But, he tries to convince her, like, see, look, like, the Bible talks about fucking's great. Like,
yeah. She's like, yeah, they're all married.
Exactly. So, they're not gonna do it because they were married, therefore they're allowed, but we're not, so good luck, nerd. Mm-hmm. And he gets a little agitated, he takes a cold shower, and then he heads off to the club, where at least he can try to have some fun, since he's not getting any. But Cheetah Girl figures out where he is, and she follows him, and she shows up at the club, and she witnesses Ja Rule canoodling with another woman. So she runs off and cries in her car, and, you know, asks God to help. And things are all busted up now.
Right, but it's also that thing where it's like, the girl seemingly catches somebody doing something, and, like, runs off, then immediately after that, the guy's like, I gotta go. Mm-hmm. You know,
yeah,
like, I can't cheat on my girl.
They were literally just cuddling, kind of.
Yeah, he was just, like reclined back, and she was just, like, cuddled up to him. It looked like they were sharing secrets, but there was no kissing or anything.
Right, he didn't, as far as we can tell,
he didn't even have his hands on her, I don't think.
Yeah, he didn't really touch her, kiss her, or anything. Right. She was just a little closer than, I mean, admittedly, you'd want your boyfriend to be. Right. With somebody else, but that was about it.
In a club-type setting. Yeah. With alcohol.
Right. But... And then, yeah, he didn't notice she was there. Right. But right after she left, he was like, oh, okay, I'm out. Yeah. And the girl was
whatever the secrets the girl was whispering, he was not into
did
it.
Not like those secrets. No. But you know what? I fucking hate turtles. Fuck you and your turtles.
What?
I assume she was telling secrets about turtles.
Oh, we all have lots of secrets about turtles. It's classic.
Turtles are classically secretive animals.
I mean, yeah, they...
Wasn't Secret Squirrel's partner a turtle? Nope, he was a mole.
Secret Squirrel.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Great shit.
Yeah. Remember.
Alright, but things are gonna get worse. Because Ja Rule's mom is deathly ill, and she's gonna be dead in just a few minutes of movie time.
Right.
And
did they get to go on Sandel's vacation?
No, because she says, sorry for ruining the vacation.
I forgot about that. I was waiting to see if it had happened, and I guess I didn't catch that.
She hadn't gone yet. She's like, I ruined the vacation.
It's so depressing.
Ja Rule's like, Mom, you didn't ruin anything.
All she's ever wanted was to go to Sandel's. And they're not even a good resort.
He could have done it last year. But he didn't. He waited too long. Now was the year he had all the money.
He had money for a while.
I know.
He could have, he
could have done this at any point.
He should feel bad about
this. He could have done it for any reason.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be Christmas.
But while in the waiting room, Cheetah Girl has come for emotional support. Despite them sort of being in a weird state, there's drama in their relationship.
Right.
But he takes the chance to apologize for the canoodling and insists that nothing happened that night, and he's really sorry for what did. Mm-hmm. And there's 40 minutes left of this damn movie. I started counting the time finally.
Yep. I checked around this point as well.
And for her last words, Mom asks Cheetah Girl to take care of her son and lead him to God because she believes there's a reason they met, and it's Jesus. And she tells Ja Rule to have a big wedding and lots of little babies and to keep seeking the Lord because he's the answer to all your problems. And now Mom finally properly dies, and at the funeral, Ja Rule and Cheetah Girl's mom make a little bit of peace because she's been a little stubborn. And the cops are still watching him at his mom's funeral, and they have a conversation about how he really does appear to be out of the drug-dealing game, but it could all be a smokescreen. I guess we'll see. Uh-huh. Even Stevie B is beginning to believe that he's really not involved.
He's starting to, root for him.
Yeah, he's like, I really hope he's clean.
Yeah, that sexy-ass man.
I just, if I wasn't married to my wife and had multiple beautiful children, I'd be
on him like white on rice.
I'd just be like, Ja Rule, you and me.
In his stupid Stephen Baldwin voice.
And in the next scene, Ja Rule asks her parents if he can marry Cheetah Girl. And her mom asks if he's truly, truly ready. And he says he knows he has a long way to go, but no one else is going to love or treat her the way that he will. And then he proposes on her birthday, so now they're going to get married. 35 minutes.
On a private jet.
He takes her on a trip on a private jet and proposes on the plane. But I'm exhausted by this movie already.
Oh, God.
I was having a hard time now. But Ja Rule's crew gets arrested for being bad druggy boys. And Ja Rule himself is exempted from the arrests because they have nothing on him. Mm-hmm. Again, this is important. The drug crew does call him for bail, though. And so he, gets him some bail, and there's a nice crew meeting. And it looks like those guys are going to go down. But they were all offered very nice deals if they would turn on Ja.
What the hell is happening to your mouth?
They were all offered very nice deals if they would turn on Ja Rule.
Yes.
I don't know why that was so hard for me to say.
I don't know either, but it was funny.
But the good news for young Rule, nobody is turning on him just yet. And even the worst Baldwin, as we discussed, is beginning to believe that he really is not involved. Mm-mm. And so now
Also, doesn't he seems to know that Ja Rule's on some weird Christian journey. Mm-hmm. How does
he follows him everywhere.
Right. Duh, Hillary. Oh my God. He's been in a van outside his church, probably.
He's on his phone.
Right.
So he basically knows everything he's been doing.
Gotcha. Okay. Duh.
And so now things are going to get even worse because Cheetah Girl is in a car accident and she is in a coma.
Yep.
So Ja Rule goes to the chapel of the church as her family is just arriving at the hospital, and he's really mad, and he's going to go yell at Jesus in stained glass.
Yep.
And so he lashes out and he says, when people talk about how it's in the Lord's hands, this is when he's still yelling at her family.
Oh, right.
People talk about how it's all in the Lord's hands now, but I can't accept that capital He would let this happen. Yeah. Capital He is me.
Right.
Adding that. But Ja Rule hauls off to yell at Jesus, like I said. And a truncated version of his monologue to Jesus is, I've changed. I'm a changed man. Can't you see that? What do you want from me? What happened to all the grace, forgiveness, mercy? Where was the mercy for my mother? I forgave you for that, but this is too far. Now you want to take Cheetah Girl from me? No. Just take me instead. Tell me what you want me to do to save her. Sorry for yelling at you in your house.
My bad. I didn't mean it.
I didn't mean any of it. I love you,
baby.
Just tell me what I gotta do to make this right. I'll do it. I surrender, Lord.
It's so embarrassing.
It's the weirdest.
I was so uncomfortable.
And honestly, I have to say one thing.
Okay.
For all of the shit we're giving him, Ja Rule is not a terrible actor.
He's not a terrible actor.
He's okay.
He's fine. The dialogue is absolute trash.
Is horrible.
Yeah.
But honestly, the first scene with his mom, she's a worse actor than him.
Oh, definitely.
She's bad.
She really is. Distractingly so.
But
and I'm not gonna lie, Cheetah Girl is not good either.
Cheetah Girl's not great, but So Ja Rule, like,
he's one of the better actors in this movie. It's like him, Michael Madsen's on the top.
Right.
Sopranos.
Yeah.
Although, he didn't really have to do any acting.
He did the best he could with that terrible dialogue.
Correct.
My youngest, richest friend.
Stevie B will always be in the bottom 10 percentile.
Yeah. But, like, Ja Rule is one of the best actors in this movie.
Yeah.
That's not supposed to say, like, he's a good actor. But he's one of the best in this movie.
Correct.
And he is an okay actor. He pulled it off relatively well for what he was dealing with.
Yes.
Like, this monologue is ridiculous. And even then, I was like, I believe parts of this.
Yeah. At least he's not fake crying. That would have pissed me off.
Right. But now Ja Rule is a legit Christian boy. And that's good on him, I guess. And he packs up all of his fancy shit as the cops come by to his giant house to arrest him. And he gets questioned by the IRS CID, which is the IRS Criminal Investigation Division, and they have some questions for Ja Rule. He's been writing checks to his drug crew for various services they've been providing. Mm-hmm. And so they say if they've been giving him drug money, even for legitimate business purposes, he's in deep trouble, and all of his money is up for grabs from them. And Ja Rule is unconcerned with their little investigation because, as he says, he's a legitimate businessman. And he'd like to either now be arrested so that he can post bail and go home, or released because he didn't do anything. Mm-hmm. And while this is happening, Stephen Baldwin is watching him, and again, rooting for him. He's like, man, I really want you to make me believe you right now.
Come on, man. Make me believe.
Just come through one more time. And so the cops are going to try one more time. This is when Stephen Baldwin's boss gets involved. And he says he's going to give Ja Rule just a few minutes to gather his thoughts and finally confess. But if he doesn't, who knows? Probably bad things will happen. Mm-hmm. And Baldwin brother vouches for him and genuinely believes him to be a choir boy after all.
Yes.
And there's 15 minutes to go in this movie.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't even, like, we don't even see what happens.
No.
Presumably he gets released.
Also, should he be in handcuffs if he's not under arrest?
Yeah, that's a really interesting question.
I don't think so.
I mean, they did technically arrest him.
No. There are...
Like, they came to his house and they took him against his will.
But they're not charging. Yeah, well...
But they're not... Oh, you know what? You can arrest somebody for a period of time before you have to charge them. He was asking to be charged or released. That's what it was.
Gotcha.
Like, either charge me so I can get charged and, like, make bail.
Right.
Or let me go because you have to.
Right.
But yeah, you can arrest somebody for a period of time. I think it's usually like 24 hours.
Right.
Before you have to actually officially charge them.
Gotcha.
So, he was basically just saying, like, you have to release me eventually anyway.
Yeah.
Just charge me. Or don't.
Right.
And let me go. Don't hold me for all 24 hours. That's an obnoxious move. Okay. Ja Rule gets released, and he goes to the hospital to visit Cheetah Girl. And he says a very devout prayer over her, and he humbly begs God to spare her and allow her to be healthy again. He'll do or say whatever he needs to do, even if he doesn't have much to offer. And a montage follows, and predictably, she eventually wakes up. And boy, howdy, is he a believer now. Mm-hmm. And the next few scenes make even bigger revelations. We're closing up the movie. Ja Rule is now a devoted husband. He's writing to his former crew while they're in prison. Yeah. Because it turns out he really wasn't involved in drug dealing anymore.
Or they could not prove it.
That's
what the truth is.
I'm kind of unclear on what exactly it's
I don't know what they were insinuating, but he definitely was, and he definitely didn't get caught.
Right.
But they did, and they didn't turn on him.
No,
so
we did not see him. We did not see him drug deal in the movie.
We did not.
We just know he hangs out with drug dealers, knows they're drug dealing, and probably gives them good advice on how to drug deal.
But we also know that he used to be a drug dealer.
Yes.
And the majority of his money came from that. It's still
dirty
whether
money.
He's doing it still or not, he was doing it and should have been arrested for that.
Right. And it certainly looks like a very specific laundering operation.
100%, yeah.
They help him with his official, good, legitimate business shows by writing him lots of checks.
Yeah.
Like, that's drug money.
No, exactly. It is not legal what he's doing.
And I think it's bullshit that, like...
I don't believe that, drugs should be, like, there should be no war on drugs.
Yeah.
In that way,
it's pretty bullshit that you could be legitimately innocent and still go down for drug people giving you money that you don't know they're drug dealers.
Yeah.
But it's different when you know they're drug dealers and it appears that you're helping them launder their money.
Right. He is not a clean slate whatsoever, and that's how he's treated.
But the scenes in the beginning of people in prison was not Ja Rule. He was monologuing over his friends. And he was maybe had a letter. Who knows? And God's been so good to him. This is something he writes in the letter. They need to get on board too. He's like, it's time to get along and get with God or whatever.
Yeah, I'd be so pissed if I was in prison.
And writing letters like, get with Jesus.
Reading letters are like, now I have a kid, I'm having a great life.
And now, he's going to be a Garam pastor himself.
Garam pastor, Garam dad.
And Cheetah Girl is pregnant.
Yeah.
So when they get out, he tells them all to be ready to handle that stuff too. You're gonna be uncles. So get to it.
Ship shape.
Ship shape. And the final shot is Ja Rule getting ready to preach before his giant congregation. What a slog. The movie's over.
Yes. And now the best part of the movie, outtakes.
Oh yeah, they did do outtakes. Did you like any of them?
I just really love bloopers in general. Or
Bloopers
outtakes.
are good.
I like watching people just have a good time.
Are you ready for some bloopers?
Wacky bloopers.
So let's talk about the best and worst of this movie. Are you going to go with bloopers?
No. My favorite thing about this movie you've already pointed out, and that is just how hilarious, especially now that we know who the writer is, how hilarious the dialogue about the attributes of Ja Rule.
Every fucking time.
Every scene has to mention another great trait about him. Too funny.
It's really funny. But my best is actually going to be, remember the Michael Madsen thing I was talking about?
Yeah.
He's not in this movie. He's in one of the opening scenes where we establish that he's a cop. Mm-hmm. And then he's there when Ja Rule gets arrested. Right. So my favorite part of this movie, the best thing about this movie, is clearly they had Michael Madsen for all of 15 minutes.
He's in more than just those two scenes, isn't he?
He's not.
Is he in the van sometimes?
No.
Oh my god,
That's a different guy.
That. I mean, I knew the other guy was there. Wow.
Like, he arrests...
I wonder how much it cost them to have him in the movie for that amount of time.
He arrests Ja Rule.
Right.
And he was in the scene again with Stephen Baldwin. The guy in the van is a different guy.
Right. I knew that.
And he doesn't even appear in the scenes where Ja Rule is being interrogated. Like, no, they arrest him and they go watch him. Stephen Baldwin's watching with their boss.
Right.
And the two guys interrogating him are different people.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And the boss goes in to try to he's the one who says, like, I'm going to give you a few minutes to, like, think about it. But, you better confess. That's their boss. And Michael Madsen's not involved. He's in 67 seconds of this movie.
That's amazing. I did not even notice that.
And so that's just so funny. I don't know why he's in this movie.
He must have gotten a good paycheck.
He probably got a good paycheck for very little work. Right. And in which case, you know what, bro? Proud of you.
Yeah.
Your star has not fallen. You're a fucking genius.
Dumb choice by the production company because it did not elevate this film at all.
It lets them put it on the, like, poster.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Because first off, you have to make a poster.
Not enough to bring in the
Adrienne Bailon, like, come on.
Yeah.
Like, she's alright, but no. So I guarantee you, I don't know this, but I guarantee the poster is Ja Rule, Adrienne Bailon, Michael Madsen.
Yes, absolutely. His picture is definitely there.
Oh, yeah. Alright, and the worst for me, it's the thing that you love the best, and it's fair, because it is the best and worst part of it.
It is.
It's the stupid... Ja Rule is he's just so good looking. He's so rich. He's so young. He's so handsome. He's so smart.
Oh my god, girl, he's so hot.
He's got that dick, though. Like, it's so ridiculous. What's your worst?
Oh gosh, my worst would probably be the length.
Oh, this is too long.
It drags and drags.
There's so little needed in this movie.
Yeah.
All right, but we're over it now. So let's talk about some things that are like this that are not this that you should watch instead of this.
Any other romantic comedy or drama?
That's fair. I'm going to think of, let's see, a movie like this, a movie where a rapper is the main character.
Okay.
In which case, I'm going to go with 8 Mile.
I was about to say 8 Mile.
8 Mile's good.
It's a great movie.
It's a good movie. I haven't seen Tupac's work, so I don't know. But apparently some of those are good. I heard Juice is good.
Isn't he in Poetic Justice? Yeah. I don't know if I've seen the whole thing, but the parts I've seen I liked a lot. Yeah.
So we're thinking Poetic Justice and 8 Mile. Go watch those.
Go watch those.
You see a rapper who, first off, better rappers, and secondly, better actors.
Yeah.
And better movies. So overall, better.
Yeah, there you go. Those are good ones.
And Anthony Mackie's in 8 Mile, and you can see him when he was a little baby.
Baby Anthony Mackie.
Little baby Mac. Did you see Black Mirror yet?
I can't imagine how big his eyes were when he was a kid. Because they seem so big on his head right now. Mm-hmm. He has those wide set eyes.
Did you see Black Mirror yet?
The first two. There's only 3, right? Yeah. I don't think I watched the third one.
Okay.
The first one was pretty good. Mm-hmm. The second was terrible.
Mm-hmm. I didn't really...
I love Miley Cyrus, and I hated that episode.
Oh, that's the one. Okay, that's what you think. Yeah, that one wasn't good.
It was terrible.
So what was the first one for you?
It was the first one available, which was the,
Striking Vipers?
Yes.
Okay. So you haven't seen the actual second one?
I went in order.
I think you skipped one.
What was that? What was the other one called?
What was it called?
Or just give me a general what's about, because maybe I watched all 3.
It's the guy who kidnaps the guy?
The guy who
and he calls Topher Grace?
Oh, yeah! To vote for Grace. Yeah. Oh, I completely forgot about that one altogether. Yeah, I was unimpressed with this season.
I didn't love it. I like Striking Vipers a lot.
Yeah.
The Miley Cyrus one, I didn't hate, but it was really weirdly long.
It was weirdly long.
Like, it could have been half an hour.
Right.
And would have been better for it.
Yeah.
But the other one, it was super well acted.
Yeah.
I just didn't get the, like the point, I guess.
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah. What were they trying to say?
Yeah.
I do like that because it's in Britain. There's no guns, really. There's the fake gun, but, like, the police don't have guns.
Yeah.
It's not part of it.
But it was excellently acted. All the actors were great. Even Topher Grace. He was a good actor. You just give him shit because he's Topher Grace.
I just feel like he's such a dick face. I think he's an asshole in real life, for
Maybe,
sure.
I don't know.
He was on one of my podcasts recently. I'm just like, ugh, shut up, Topher.
All right, so let's talk about next week.
Okay.
Here's your thing. And you know what? Honestly, I'm just trying to get little pockets of things that we can like.
Oh, bless you. What is it? Oh, more Superbook.
We like Superbook.
Yeah, which one are we going to do? The newer one still?
We're still going to do the newer one,
Okay.
but that's because I've chosen 2 episodes, and maybe we can add a third if you'd like.
Uh-huh.
But I've chosen 2 episodes, one of which is about the end of the world.
Fuck yeah.
It's called The Final Battle.
Oh my God.
And it should be fucking awesome.
Like straight revelations?
Yeah.
Ah!
So that should be cool.
Children, a robot, and fucking death and destruction.
I know I saw a little bit of it. I know that Lucifer's back in it.
All
so
right.
we get to see more
That's our
Lucifer.
favorite.
He's the best character.
He was really good in the first one.
And the other one's about the miracles of Jesus, which should be entertaining at least.
Yeah, I'm in.
So we're going to watch more Superbook. Because,
Yeah.
like I said, little pockets of joy where we're actually, like, not loathing watching it.
I appreciate you.
I'm doing my best.
I really do.
And that's it. So get ready for more Superbook, the extra crazy episodes. And remember, if you like the show, please give us a 5-star review on whatever podcast app or service you are using, and tell your friends about us any way that you can. If you don't have any friends, tell your doctor or your dentist.
Sure.
And
I'm going to have a doctor soon. Insurance.
Tell your therapist.
Oh my God, I will.
But we need the attention, we need the affection, we need the recommendations. Links to everything are in the description of this episode. That includes social media for both of us, a website as well, where you can go and send us a comment or a question for a mailbag.
Yeah.
But that's it.
That's all.
Anything you want to add?
Nope.
Last minute insults or praise?
Don't think so.
Okay, well, we appreciate you for listening. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.